Alright, what's poppin', people? We're back. I'm having to record this video a good 3.5 hours before it's actually gonna get uploaded. Because I had absolutely no time yesterday to get it done. Anyhow, we got an UPL game between Rosie Bear and Peachy Flash. I wanted to look at this game because it was a really close one that came down to the wire. And the only reason that the winner ended up winning is because of a double they made to prevent their opponent from sealing the deal from there. Yeah, as per usual, if you've been enjoying the content, leave a like, man. Subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. End of the year goal is 5K, and if you subscribe today, you push us a little bit closer to that goal. Anyhow, a little bit of backstory, I guess, on the players. Rosie Bear, really highly touted ADV player. He's had really solid performances for years now. I feel like he's been playing every NU team tour, but he hadn't played up until this week because apparently he was busy. And actually, I forget if this was his first week or his second week. Regardless, he hadn't played much this tour because he was busy, and so that kind of sucked. And Peachy Flash is one of the, what I'll call ADV NU Zoomers, in that he's one of the more recent, newer players to pick it up in a completely disjointed community from NU itself. So there's a little bit of like, what's a good word? I feel like there's like inherent philosophy clashing there between the two players on like how they perceive the metagame. Like, I guarantee you, if I compare a lot of the biases and perspectives of, because Rosie's not even like necessarily an NU community member, but I compare more of the people that have stuck to like the NU Discord compared to some of the ADV NU side Discord stuff. You can kind of start seeing where people differ on some more minute meta takes. And yeah, let's get into it. Lead's gonna be Kingler, Octillery from Rosie Bear. We're gonna see a double edge. That is pretty obviously Choice Bandit Kingler, and Rosie can always just safely T-Wave here and pick it off the next turn. T-Wave's also just always safe because if you are predicting maybe a like other bulky water type to come in, like a Whale Lord, it's nice to get that paralysis on it. Now there's a shot that it'll just be offensive Whale, and crippling it's really good because that mon's a demon. And, Haunter comes out. There's no real reason to sack your Octillery, so bring in a Matang, and this can force Rosie to potentially get another reveal from Peachy's team as he reveals the Torkoal. And we're starting to see a bit of an offensive build come out from Peachy Flash, especially with this Wailord reveal now. Nice offensive, just strong breaker to lead off with. A Glalie as well being revealed in the back. So at this point, we can kind of start seeing what the archetypes of these two teams look like, right? Pretty, basically boom offense, right? Where you're just looking to try to use Explosion self-destruct pretty frequently, pick off Pokemon just like that, force your last mon to end up having a good matchup. And Rosie's got a pretty similar outlook to that, except he's got an Octillery lead. And now we're just going to see an exchanging of spikes. I am just going to skip through these turns because it's just trading of damage. And then we're going to see the explosion on the Glalie. Peachy Flash just deciding, you know what, I'll take my one spike advantage and get out. And yeah, but the Wailords come out. Again, we're going to see a trading of the damage. Rosie actually doing a lot more on that. And we've seen this has Protect now, so he's kind of just forced to give a little bit more recovery to Rosie as well. And this could maybe still be in KO threshold, just because that other one did 50. That is quite a lot of damage to get off. And now's where we get to see Octillery being able to be sacked. Really useful here. And Matang will come out now. And we're going to see, in my eyes, pretty questionable play from Peachy Flash. I'm not really too sure that I understand why he endured here to get the Salic boost, because then he switches immediately. I'm not too sure what the thought process is there. Because if you're enduring on a switch, obviously it just doesn't do anything. If you're enduring to stay in, I was thinking it was Pataya Berry, if anything, right? If you're potentially Pataya, maybe you're just trying to get as much damage on the Matang as possible. And, Peachy Flash's last ends up being Eradicate. So yeah, getting damage on Matang, really good. That would make sense to me. Maybe, you know, maybe he's even Hidden Power Fire and can get even more damage off if he's Salak Berry, Endure. But he just switches. So I'm not sure if the Endure was a misclick, or if he just unfortunately used Endure but then immediately realized, oh wait, this doesn't work, I have to now switch out. And he just, you know, wastes his Salak Berry. That's kind of just a tough look. And yeah, Torkoal's gonna come out now. Pretty easy check to the Matang. Rosie has no real reason to stay in here. Psyche booms, I forgot, my bad. He booms, trying to open up something for one of his last as well. This is a Pokemon that actually does check his Haunter. And here we see the Rat. And this Pokemon, last, is incredibly threatening, right? It's going to be revealed to be Choice Band Raticate. And we're going to see Torkoal come out. And unfortunately for Rosie, he's in a pretty bad spot, right? He's got Pokemon that compete with his own Haunter for the speed tier. Raticate just outright faster. PG Flash's Haunter being potentially faster, or speed tie at worst. And Wailord is just still a problem to deal with, even though it's going to be really low. It comes in versus this and can kill it. So we're going to see Rosie do what we call, I have no other option if I want a chance to win. He always has to switch out here. If the Wailord comes in, he loses guaranteed, because there is nothing he can do with Torkoal. Technically not true. If he's hitting Power Grass, he could go for that. But I don't know if I don't know if it's gonna KO a whale without a crit, right? I don't know the EV spreads of the two. Anyhow, he basically has to switch, and he's gonna end up switching. Now, I think Pichu Flash also made his best mid-ground play there. Sacking Haunter is the safest play, because if, you know, again, he goes for Hidden Power Grass, that could risk a crit. And so you wouldn't want to do that. And going Haunter covers his own potential Haunter. I don't know what the speeds are of these two. Maybe they're both timid max speed, and it is just always a speed tie. But this is still your best play as well, because you potentially force a speed tie here. It's a really good turn for both players. Rosie does end up winning the 50-50 there. And then the Rat comes back out. And again, Pichu would have to try to double here, but he does not. And Choice Band Raticate, unfortunately, when it's not spamming out double edges or returns, it's just not doing enough. And we do actually see Hidden Power Grass would have picked it off. Now the Rat can't lock into anything that it would actually want to. Shadow Ball, as we saw, just doesn't do enough damage. And that lets Rosie Bear pick the Raticate off on the next turn with Explosion. I think this was a pretty hype game. Again, I don't remember if this is Rosie's first of the tour. If it was, then that just makes it even more hype. Because it's like, yeah, the Holy Heliolists have unleashed their secret weapon. Here's what happened. But I think Rosie has a couple fun takes on the metagame personally. Some of his takes I vehemently disagree with. But that's kind of the case with a lot of ADP people. I have my own perspective of the metagame that, hey, there's a little bit of differing. I thought this was a fun matchup. It's just two really offensive teams. Little interesting thing I guess to note is, a lot of time you'll see Glalie in the back on maybe some more balanced builds, because you like lead Glalie to enable offense, but we saw these two just slot in a random offensive water type, and still have the Glalie in the back to support their very heavy boom usage team. I mean, look at Rose's team. He literally has 5 Pokemon outside of the lead slot that can go kablooey. That is that is a pretty good depiction of what boom spam looks like in this tier. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Of course, if you did, as per usual, man, leave a like, subscribe, help a brother out. I'm trying to hit my goal. But until next time, I hope you're enjoying your time, and I'll see you then. Peace.